guess I think I was in a controlled environment, so this should be fairly simple. I personally think that color correction is done pretty well. Yeah, I think I shot this one pretty well. Good, kudos to me. So I just do my basic color corrections. Color grade. Color grade is a personal preference, so no matter how you do it, it should make sense to the story you are trying to portray, right? It should make sense to the story. So I just create an adjustment layer. If you don't know how to create an adjustment layer, just come here, adjustment layer. You're done. Simple, easy peasy, right? So I just drag my adjustment layer to this place. Go to color. And I'ma zoom in. Where is my adjustment layer? Let's just drag it again. Okay, it was very small. Okay, so alright, so with adjustment layer, and mind you, anytime you apply a LUT or a lookup table through an adjustment layer on your video, it's always going to look different depending on the clip, right? The exposure of the clip, the color contrast of the clip, and there are so many factors that will influence how different it looks on each clip. Okay, so we are going to the creative tab and we are going to try to color grade. You can just go here. By default Premiere Pro has some interesting color grade profiles, right? Depending on which one you like, they are all there. You can choose through and see which one fits your fancy. But I'm personally going to try and color grade from scratch to give it my own feel and my own touch, right? So when you come here, you should always know that this is where you can select your color grade profiles, and if you have more LUT, you can just go through browse and you browse it and you get it there. But we don't have any LUT yet. I'll be sharing my LUT with you very soon, but I don't have any yet for now, so I'll just go through the color grading, right? So with this footage, we just have to probably sharpen it a little bit. The faded film is what gives you the faded film look in the film look stuff. Yeah, film look. And intensity is how intense the LUT you're going to apply here is going to be, right? We all know vibrance. Vibrance is basically going to elevate all the colors, the saturation of all the colors in your footage, with the exception of the skin tone. Till it gets to the skin tone level, that's when it starts to raise the skin tone. But saturation just brings everything up together with the skin tone. Okay, so we're just going to bring the vibrance a little bit up, checking our scopes, and we're going to push. I want to have some kind of blue in my shadows, so I'm going to push a little bit of blues in my shadows and a little bit of orange in my highlights, right? And we go to the part where all the color grade goes on, right? So hue versus sat is basically hue and saturation, right? It's basically hue and saturation, right? So you are able to select the hue you want here, being the grass or my shirt, and you can increase or decrease its saturation. So you can increase the saturation of my top, or decrease the saturation of the flowers or the green grass or whatever. So that's why you do the colors, saturate or decrease the saturation of the colors. You can just press this and click here, and you can just adjust the saturation. Always remember, the middle of this point is where you're supposed to select and drag. And if you want to be accurate, always be sure to hold shift anytime you are adjusting, so that you don't move out and shift the colors, right? So yeah, so I just want to increase the saturation of my shirt a little bit. I think that's okay. I don't need to go beyond. And the grass, let's see, decrease it a little bit. I want to stand out more because I am the star of the show. Come on, I am the star of the show. And with the hue versus hue, it just changes the color of the hue to its closest color on the color wheel. I don't know what I'm saying, but anytime you click and you drag, it shifts the color to a different one. So I can make my shirt green. Hey, interesting, huh? Yeah. And I can make it this blue, go on, make it magenta or even red. But if you push it too much, it starts to look unrealistic, so you should know how to balance it. I think I like this better, right? Okay. And the same goes for the grass. I can just select the grass and push it anywhere I want it. But yeah, you should know how to make it realistic. Or it's color grading. You can do it any way you want it. Alright. Hue versus luma is basically going to brighten up the colors you select, right? So if I select the blues, it's going to brighten them up, or it's going to darken them, right? So I'm going to leave these ones to the advanced color grading tutorial I'm going to make, because there's not much time, right? So yeah. So when it comes to the main part where you can use to color grade and color correct, color grade actually. Okay. So I want to color grade and I want to let my skin tones pop. So what I'm going to do is just select the skin tones, move it a bit to the reddish or orange side. Let me just change my face. I do it so yeah. And probably I want to push blues into my shadow, so I just push in the blues. I think it's too much. This is okay. And my highlight, I want to push it up a little bit, right? So this is what adjusts the saturation of your skin tones. I mean the luminance of your skin tones, right? How bright your skin tones you want them to be, or how dark you want them to be. So I think I'll just push it down a little bit to make the shot stand out, right? And the shadows, push the shadows down a little bit, right? It's personal preference, any way you want to do it, right? So we have a color grade for our footage right now. Okay, so before, after, right? And the same goes to this clip, same goes to this clip, same goes to this clip. Because I've spread the adjustment layer on all the clips, this color grade is affecting all the other clips, right? But you can create more adjustment layers for each clips if you don't want them to all look the same, right? So that is our tutorial for color grading and color correcting, the basics. I know it's a bit long, but if you bear with me and we went through, you would have found out there are basically simple steps and simple things you can do to make your footages go from looking like this to this, right? Interesting. And you can see from our scopes that we have clipped a little bit of the 100%. Like I said again, it is the sky, that is why it's clipped, and our 0 is not clipped, which means our darks are not clipped, and you're safe. And you could see that vector scopes is showing us that the blues are a bit too saturated. Okay, so you can adjust all these in our color grade. Okay, so let me see. We just click and bring the blues down. As you can see, as I'm pulling this down, this is also going back, right? So I'm pulling it down, it's going back. I think somewhere around this is okay. But it's color grade. Hey, it's personal preference. What you want is what you do. So before, after. So before, after.